Hello everyone, my name is Mladen. I'm Solution Architect at BI4Dynamics, and I will explain the architecture of BI4Dynamics BC. In a simple words, there are three phases: preparation, transformation, and consumption. In preparation, we talk about the sources, how we integrate sources into the data warehouse, where we do all the transformation and consume this data in a business layer with Excel or Power BI templates. So let's have a look at these steps in more details. In our BC is not available or accessible directly, so what we in BI4Dynamics do is install two extensions that create web services, and by using a Docker export the data into the data lake. You can see the Docker as a fixed or standardized virtual machine, and when the data are in the data lake, we are using a polybase. That's a part of the SQL standard or Enterprise Edition, a standard feature like a connector to the CSV files that are loaded into a data warehouse. So we're loading this process incrementally. It's all done automatically. No need to write any code, and it has a very, very small impact on production, especially because we load data incrementally. Now, for any other external source, we use Power Query, which means we can connect to any of the 120 connector databases or sources that Power Query supports and integrate that part into our data warehouse. Now, as a part of the BI4Dynamics standard offering, we can integrate in the same data warehouse the BC Lake together with any version of BC or NAV since the version 2009 and higher. So this can come as a one data source from cloud and one from on-premise, integrated into single data warehouse out of the box as a part of the solution. In near-term future, there'll be changes when Microsoft will make export to Lake as a feature of Business Central, and the data are going to land into the data lake, where we are going to grab this data with Azure Data Factory that is also embedded in Azure Synapse. So this is the part where we are already very familiar with, because the same architecture is being used in DFO. The next part, or the most important for the BI transformation, is a data warehouse. So this is a true data warehouse, scalable and flexible, metadata driven. It creates 1 million lines of code. You don't have to know this, but you don't write any line of code. For modeling, it's important that you understand and know the BC. And as a result, a data warehouse, there is a star schema having 130 dimensional and more than 40 transactional tables with over 1,500 KPIs that are going to be consumed in this business or analytical layer. The business layer is where the users connect to, and we have three implementation options. So one implementation option is to, in every case, there is a analysis services tabular model, very user-friendly, very fast to query, and rich in content that BI4Dynamics provides from data warehouse. And these implementation options are if you have a spare hardware, then you are going to use, as you have a data warehouse on-prem, also analysis services on premises. There is no web or mobile access in this offering here. Another option is that you can use the analysis services hosted by Microsoft. So in this case, you will pay per service. So it's a good choice when you have a lot of users, but are not that heavy users. And also the database, analytical database, is up to 20 GB. If we have the analytical database 20 GB, that would mean like your source NAV database would be, or the BC database would be about 150 GB. So that's a lot of space here. So that's okay. And the last but not least, and very, very popular lately, is the implementation option with Power BI Premium. And we are using per user capacity, not per capacity, because you pay $20 and you get 100 GB of space per model. And this is definitely I would say the best choice for up to 20 users, and you get also everything that is in the Power BI Pro, which means the mobile and web, plus much more. We'll talk about that later. So all these implementation options are available with BI4Dynamics, with on-premise and BC Cloud version. We have current and future support for the Docker or Azure Data Factory connector, and you can host the data warehouse on premises on Azure virtual machine, and 3 implementation options to choose one from. All this is set so that you will not do any compromises on BI content over services. What it actually means is that we sell a solution. We provide you with a solution out of the box that has it all already. You don't have to work on services, on aggregations, or on new models, because the out of the box content is really very rich, and because of the sizes of semantic layer in data warehouse is huge enough. You don't have to compromise the granularity of a document or put a lot of effort into aggregations, which usually you would do if you have a Power BI project. And you will be able to crunch any size of data. If you have a good hardware, you can crunch terabytes of data in hours. And with the concept of different deployment options, and we'll talk about the pricing also later, we will choose the option that is most suitable for you, will pay exactly what you need at the time when you need it, and in case of scaling up or down, that is very simple to do. Users last will be extremely happy because they will be querying analysis services which is in memory, will give them lightning speed queries. And again, if you grow, you are super simple to scale up or down. All the options are available. So result of this architecture are best BI content and total flexibility. We'll not talk about flexibility right now a lot, but if you want to change anything in the model, you have to know that there is a column in that table in the BC that you want to add, and that's all you need to know to do any changes in this part here. So let's have a look at the content. This would be a starting point for any project, and it means that we are providing this as an out-of-the-box solution, and we are going to look into the few application area, like sales dashboard. Starts with sales and inventory and receivables. We are looking into the swinging monthly sales that are shown as a moving average of 3 and 12 months. We're looking into the share of item sales and free days invoices, some averages, our delivery performance, are we late or on time. When we are comparing against year-to-date, year-on-year, or against budgets. Analysis of new businesses, new customer, returning customer, lost customer, or items. Profit or GP should be equal, as well as all other measures as they are in F&O to Ascent. Inventory information, and part of the receivables. Now, as this is an overview, it means that the details are in other reports, and we are going to look into this. So in every case, we are looking into the same data, the same process. We are just looking into from a different perspective, where we are bringing some item table as customer table. We could be also focused more into item, and we bring the hierarchy that we want to analyze. Now, what is your best customer? You will choose by not one but several KPIs. In sales, we have 300 KPIs to choose from, so that you can see what is good, which is green. So it's like great sales, great year-to-date growth in absolute or in relative terms, or what is bad, a lot of overdue, increase in receivable balance, or not a lot of action, or a lot of invoices is happening here. Now, another view is a view by date, because without any doubt this is the most important dimension. We provide 50 attributes in date dimension, and you may see that apart from the transaction values, we have also the reporting currency. We call this additional currency, where in this case there is a corporate currency selected that is different in exchange rate as one-on-one, as you can see here. And only with these reporting services we provide about 300 KPIs in the reporting currency itself here. It is also understood that in any time we can filter the tables with Power BI with attributes from another table here. Now let's see some of the details. When we are looking into the delivery, we are looking into the days late and amount late. If a document or a line has been late, and that's based on the promised planned expected delivery date, then we are logging into the days late and we can analyze amount late here. And this part is of course available also in the purchasing part, where we are looking into whether our vendors are delivering us goods or services on time or they are late. So this is a great for delivery performance analysis. We may be into the new business analysis, where we are looking into how many new items or new customers have been sold. And this is a list for a quarter in 2018. These are all demo data, and which, by the way, you can analyze just after this session. You can see I'm logged in here as demo at BI4Dynamics, and we do provide you with absolutely the same experience with the same login as I'm doing this presentation right now. So this is a user that you connect to the Power BI service, and this is the login Power BI will allow with Zero to get absolutely the same experience as I did. Now we can look into the sales transactions if the customer are changing assortment or any other view. Let's just go through other areas really quick. So we can see in the finance, we can provide information about the financial statement in a visual, tabular or graphical way. We support up to 15 financial dimensions in F&O. And what is also very important for corporates, we have seen the additional currency or reporting currency, as well as date hierarchies as a normal calendar or fiscal date calendar. And this fiscal date calendar also supports the fiscal based time intelligence. What means that calendar date starts in January, the fiscal date starts in July, and we do provide a year-to-date measure. As you can see here, this is a need change or sales. It doesn't matter, year-to-date fiscal, and this is year-to-date variance, which is based on the calendar. It's good because you can see that the performance can be wildly different if there is a exchange rate. Now, in most cases, the KPIs that we have in BI4Dynamics do not require any explanation, are easy to be consumed, and also the navigation through the reports is simple. So if we see here, this is receivable aging by aging buckets over the 2 years that we selected. And if we want to see why is this value here a negative one, every table here is being filtered. We look into the customer value, and we can see this is a customer whose balance in this time was minus 33, and we can go to the document level, which was an open document, should probably not be open, should be applied to an invoice if that was open at that time. Or for example, top bottom approach, if we are looking into the aging buckets, and we can just ask who is owing us money more than 2 years. We can see this customer, and with one more click we have the documents that are open at that time for more than 2 year time. Now inventory, I would just highlight one feature, that is inventory balance by aging group. So we have buckets of aging. It means items not moving less than 100 days to a year, or more than a year, and the report would look like this. So you can see the inventory value goes down, which makes us happy. Turnover is faster, which is great. However, if we're looking into the total value by aging buckets, we can see that we are successfully decreasing already fast moving items, but definitely not successfully items which are not moving already by default. And furthermore, we can look into like this, where we would say, do we have a problem or not? So what we have is the aging buckets for an item, where aging buckets are here. A few items, 3 items are under 100 days, which is fine. 99 items are not moving 100 days to a year, and 11 more than a year. And if you look into the aging stock value, and compare this value to the last purchase price, then we can see that this bucket here has almost double the price as if you would buy this item now, and this is the average purchase price in the period, which actually confirms this. We have also a good feeling to have a feeling how big of an impact this will be from our balance sheet into the profit and loss. We can see what is the frequency of purchasing, selling, last purchase quantity, and other information just in one simple table. Further, we just have a blend into the manufacturing. We are looking into, we have done probably between 50 and 100 manufacturing projects where we can look at everything that has been consumed by cost groups to everything that we have consumed, produced, and we look into selecting procurement category. Let's say Lady Gaga jeans. This is a manufacturer of textile. We can see the quantities, average cost, how good our plans or bill of materials are, and what we have consumed. So we can at any time we know what was the produced cost, what we have produced, what is the what are the trends, and how are the capacities. We can go to the equipment efficiency and everything that is in the manufacturing, really a lot. And another area that just have a glimpse about this is retail. We have done probably more than 100 retails. So here we are looking into the retail specifics. Retail is everything you have seen in Sales Plus, the retail specific like basket value, receipts, sales distribution by time, voided transactions, a lot of operational statistics. We look into the basket value, how this is done by the quarter, by the hour, by the store. We have two different types of the stores to analyze by time to a quarter, and for example payment habits of your customer, cash versus cards, and on it goes. So all this comes as an out-of-the-box solution on day one from BI4Dynamics, and our approach is that we don't say we have done 1,000 projects and we can deliver whatever we want. We can say, okay, this is experience from 1,000 projects. We will install it. You will consume it for a while in the POC, but then you just tell us if there is something missing, what is missing. So that's the focus on our project. Another very important thing is the convergence of IT managed corporate model and self-service BI. And this is something that is a must in every project, because users would like to connect to other sources and not go to IT for kind of changes. So how it works. Now as a base, this feature is available in architectures that are provided in tabular model hosted in Azure Analysis Services or in Power BI Premium. So this feature is not available in Analysis Services hosted on premises. So the data that we have seen are hosted in a tabular model, a corporate model. This one hosts 135 dimensional and 45 transactional table. What a composite model means that we are combining two things, the corporate model and the personal data. How it happens? Now we open a Power BI desktop and we connect to the corporate model in a direct query, not in the live but in the direct query mode, and it makes available all tables from a corporate model in our Power BI desktop file or Power BI desktop model. Then we can combine this corporate source with any data that Power BI can connect or provide. It means like 120 databases or data sources that Power BI provides. Everything is available from Excel, social media on the web, or any other part. And after we are creating the model in our Power BI desktop, we are then, if we are using a Power BI Premium, publishing this model back to Power BI Service. It is another data set in Power BI Service. If we have Azure Analysis Services, then we can share the file with our team members. The data in this tabular model, the corporate data, are always in a corporate data source. The data are viewed, they are not traveling or copied from the corporate data source. We keep one version of true, and this is always managed by IT. But this exercise can be done with advanced users who have permission to publish into specific workspace within the Power BI Premium and will not bother IT at all. So this is by SQL BI team the best feature of Power BI for the year 2021. Let's have a look how it looks. So this is already a quickly built model which we start creating by table. Adding a table will force our connection to the Power BI data source to be in a direct query mode, and this is the way that we added the sales values and date as to dimension. As well, we can revisit and add any other table. Now, as you can see, we can add, for example, just add a real quick currency and company. Okay, so now the new tables are coming to the model, and because this is a direct query connection, the data are always in the corporate data source, and we can extend the model that we have created with any other source from Microsoft Power BI, which means 120 data sources and databases and connectors are available. Of course, we have to take care about the common denominator. In this case, we have a date. Date in the budget is the attribute in the date dimension, and this is it. So now we can publish the changes into the corporate data source or into the workspace that is available, or we are having permission to, and this is the way how we can access and share it with others. So everyone else who would like to do will just connect to this data source which is residing in Power BI service. And we can also do the subscription of this, as you can see. So the most important part again about this composite model is that the data are in the corporate data model. Our schema is available to be extended with any other external data source that Power BI supports. Another very useful feature in large organizations especially is our paginated reports. And paginated reports are created in Power BI Report Builder. That is a standalone application that you download, connect to any data source. It may not be just the Power BI, it cannot be just the Power BI dataset, can be anything else, and you create a simple report. It's a paginated report also. It says that it should look like a page, and if we look into like this is a view. However, the power of getting this is into different formats. So it's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, TIFF. You can publish it to the web page or send it by email. So let's just look how it looks if we send this by email. So we are going to go to design and publish the report. So we can publish it to any Power BI Premium workspace. This is already a report from the previous exercise. We are connecting. Now we are connecting to the Power BI Premium per user workspace, and this is the report. Now we're not going to consume the report in a form like this, but we are just going to create a subscription or actually view the subscription. The subscription number 1 will be sending the PDF format of this report to the users A every day 8 in the morning, and the users in the group B will receive this in Excel. So you say, okay, what does it mean, user A and B? What kind of users are? So actually I will be sending this to myself and then using the rules in Outlook based on the name of the subject. This will be forwarding report to user A, and this will be forwarded to user B. very useful in large organizations and for those who just want to go to their printer and get the report in hand. Now the design could be better, but just for a showcase, this is good. Now the question goes, can this be done with Power BI? I would say not the same way. So let's see the differences between the premium per user and Power BI Pro. So it's easy to understand from this table that everything that is in the Power BI Pro is also in the Power BI Premium, and almost everything that is in the Power BI Premium per capacity is always available in Power BI Premium per user. Now the key differences are, one, for data modeling is definitely the model size, because Power BI Pro maximum size is 1 GB and in the Power BI Premium per user is 100 GB. This will force the modeling effort to be not granular as you like to do, but a lot of effort in aggregation so that you get the model compact enough to be able to be published. The refresh rate is 8 times a day, and here is 48 times a day. For us, very important is that we can publish the tabular model. This is the name of the feature, is XML endpoint read-write connectivity. It's a tabular model as a superset of Power BI in Power BI Premium. This is a feature that enables us. Plus, very important is we can work with paginated reports, which means we can create in a report builder a report and send it to anyone, even if it's not a Power BI Pro user, not directly, but through an Outlook replication. So that definitely makes the difference between $10 per user per month and $20 per user per month as a very good bargain, a Power BI Premium per user option. These are monthly Azure costs for a BC database of about 10 gigabyte. So we will be reserving, say, about 20-30 gigabyte storage, or pay a share in the data storage monthly for about $5. We'll be running container instance or Docker, which is kind of a virtual machine with 2 CPUs and 8 GB of memory that runs for about 45 cents per hour, and this is going to cost you $9 to $10. Azure Virtual Machine for 10 GB will be comfortably crunching data with 4 CPU and 32 gigabyte of memory, and this is going to cost us $16. The virtual machine is having enough disk on OS, so there is no additional disk needed. And these costs here, preparation, transformation, are really not a lot. The costs come from this business or semantic layer where we give the users all the comfort to browse their data through a supercharged Azure Analysis Services, or we can also use, for the price of $100, 5 premium per user in premium per user capacity. So on B1 we would get up to 10 gigabyte of compressed data, which means that the data size is probably in the BC probably 3 to 4, and it can run 240 hours, or we can run 24/7 with a premium per user capacity with the 5 users in total. So these are your Azure costs.